Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. In the last couple of episodes, you saw us troubleshoot, diagnose and replace our SD50 sail drive with the newer SD60 version. It was quite the ordeal, so go back 2 episodes if you missed that one.
Yeah, baby!
But now we were ready to carry on with our circumnavigation of New Zealand. This involves going down to the roaring 40s, where 30-foot seas and 50-knot winds are the norm.
Morning, guys! Has been a hugely successful time here in Opua, but we're going to take off now. Today we're going to go meet up with some new friends, Lindsay and Rose. They used to be on Expedition Drenched, and they've got a 65-foot monohull, steel monohull, and they've offered to take us on a dive on the NZS Canterbury. The chosen one's going to get us off the dock. So your first time undocking, Chose?
This boat, yeah.
This boat. Alright, we're here. We're going to do an old-fashioned raft up. Our port side up against their starboard side.
Hey guys!
You're not going to hit the back of his dinghy, are you?
Stern line, okay, bro.
Hey, back off, Jamie. Chicken man. I got this.
This was our first time seeing their boat, so it was time for a boat tour.
Some quick stats. What do we got? What kind of boat is it?
She's a 64-foot steel ketch.
Yeah.
Weighs almost 50 tons. She was built in 1982 in Holland. She's been around the world, I don't know, a couple of times.
Serious?
Your cabin? Yeah, this is our cabin.
Oh.
Yeah.
You two there.
We got our own toilet and shower.
Just counted 9.
In there,
Oh,
and then.
oh, that's massive. And so you take a bunch of crew. How do people find you?
We're on Instagram, Don Katharina at sea. I mainly bought the boat to do diving, exploration and stuff like that.
Speaking of diving, the girls wasted no time getting their gear together to go dive on the famous shipwreck.
Oh, it's cold!
The NZS Canterbury was an old warship from the 1970s. After she was decommissioned, she was scuttled in 2007 to repopulate the marine life in Deepwater Cove. It's amazing because this vessel is still totally intact and sitting beautifully on the sand in about 35 meters of water. The wreck features a helipad on its deck, as well as the infamous bridge deck, which you can see the girls being led into by Lindsay here. It's a pretty advanced dive, and the area is a national park, so there was no shortage of fish swimming around, unfazed by the divers in their home. Diving on shipwrecks is my personal favourite, and it seems the girls had a blast as well.
That was so cool. That was the coolest
So
dive
totally
I've ever
wicked,
done
man.
in my life.
Ready for your dive?
Yeah, baby. I thought it sounded a bit funny.
You excited, bro?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Coldest dive I've ever done.
Coldest dive?
He was in front of me and he didn't realise his tank was ending. Boom! There was one point I was behind all 4 of them.
Hey, we just went for an awesome dive. It's super cool going.
Okay, cut. The dive was awesome, but it was time to move on to celebrate a special someone's birthday the next morning.
Happy birthday to you! Woo! Happy birthday, Steven!
Thank you.
How does it feel to be 45?
Better than it does now.
It's for you.
Guess what that is?
That's the card.
I have a pretty good idea what that is now. Steven, aka the Chosen One. We crossed the Pacific Big and Blue sailed Mexico to Polynesia. You were Parlay crew. You're not just a patron, you're family too. We love you, Chose. Here's to you.
You two waiting on the beach.
Woo!
Abuelo rum.
Spice up that coffee.
To Parlay.
We're doing a 30-day challenge, working out, getting fit, month of fitness right here, right now.
Yeah. This is what we're starting with here.
Yeah, we got similar starting.
Just absolutely let myself go.
Look at his face.
So we all got our starting weigh-in. Then we all put $20 in. Well, most of us did.
Oh, I got some Vietnamese dong. I can check that in there.
Which would go to the winners. So you will have to check back in a month to see who the winners of each category are.
I'm gonna start out with going for the longest plank. And biggest effort, for sure I'm winning that one.
We're trusting you with our life savings.
Lifesaver.
So motivation levels were at an all-time high and we hit the beach to start burning some calories.
Yeah, the boys.
When living at sea and constantly on the move, we don't have access to gyms, so we have to make do with what we've got. I really do believe that doing regular exercise is such an important part of life, and genuinely notice an increase in my own happiness when releasing these endorphins. But I've always struggled to find the discipline to keep at it for extended periods of time. Let's see how we go this time.
Paddleboard, headstand.
This is the first try.
Ah!
Jamie's actually gonna hurt himself.
I reckon the
No.
tripod is
I just tried to pull him in. He has his phone.
No, he doesn't. It's right there.
Oh my
Get
God!
on, you fucking rat. He's a rat. Get on there. What a little bitch.
Can't, like, you're supposed to get up like this.
Good job, Tor.
And my
How many can we take? All of them?
Yeah, you're able to take a 10 minutes. They're $2 each.
$2 each.
What kind of cookies are they?
The chocolate chip cookies.
It's Steven's birthday.
Oh, Steven's probably gonna want some cookies.
There you go. We took them all.
You're going to be on YouTube now as well. Can you say hi, YouTube? Coming into Otahay Bay. This is a lot of people's favourite bay in the whole of the whole of the Bay of Islands. So we're going to come have lunch at the restaurant for Chosen's birthday.
How beautiful are these colors?
This water is crazy.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, right?
You can see right to the bottom. It's like
Guys.
turquoise.
Otahay Bay.
He's throwing it. The mana wave. Did you get a wave back?
Mm-hmm. Got a good wave. The mana wave. Oh, you gotta wind it up. Oh, you know, it's just how we greet each other in New Zealand. It's like, che brother.
All right, just check the solar production, and these two panels here are connected up together, and they weren't producing any power. So I think what's happened is finally this one here that smashed when we were crossing the Pacific has given up the ghost, and I just had to look up there, and directly above the positive connection there, it's all burnt out. So I spoke to an electrician friend and said it'll work fine until it doesn't. So it was just a matter of time. But yeah, he said it wasn't a hazard or anything. It wasn't going to catch fire. But yeah, it's definitely just shorted itself out there from water intrusion. So if we connect this one back up and send the power back down to the charge controller, we should get one panel operating correctly. So time for a new panel.
So we headed on over to the bar where the festivities began.
Oh, Colin.
It was an absolute stunner of a day, and it was fun to be able to celebrate with the chosen one, seeing as he was thousands of miles from home.
Happy birthday, Steven! He
even mastered the art of the mana wave that day.
It's the best birthday I ever had.
Alrighty, guys. Last night was fun.
Carry on, carry on.
Hey, Joe, how's your head today?
Good.
Don't lie. So I've been keeping an eye on the weather for the last little while, and we're going to have to make a pretty serious change of plans. It's getting on in the season, and if we wanted to go down the west coast of New Zealand, I can't see a weather window to do that for another 10 days. The reason being is from Cape Reinga, the top of New Zealand, down to the top of the South Island, there's nowhere really to stop. So you need at least a 3-day weather window to get down there. So it's a pretty tricky passage, that one, and I don't really feel like we should sit around waiting for another 10 days. So what we can do is go down the east coast of New Zealand. Along the east coast, there's a lot more places for us to stop. Little marinas and harbours and bays and things for us to seek shelter. So I think we're going to go back to Smokehouse Bay on Great Barrier Island. That's the plan, guys. It's been really frustrating trying to wait for a window. I can see now why circumnavigating New Zealand is such a big challenge. So we're going to get going. We're going to go head out of this little reef here and do an overnight sail. It's the first overnight sail for Tori and Ollie. So I'm going to sit down with them now. Jamie's going to just creep us out of this reef here, follow our track where we came in. And I'll give them a safety briefing, because sailing overnight is a whole different ball game to sailing during the day.
It is almost 100 nautical miles to Great Barrier Island from the Bay of Islands. So I made sure that Ollie and Tori were well aware of what can happen offshore.
I scare you?
Nah. I think it was really good. I like to see serious Colin.
Do you feel safe?
Yep. Yeah, I trust you. I always wanted to experience like what the real sailing is, and what we've been doing so far is super fun, but I almost want to be a little bit uncomfortable. When I was 18, I just moved away from home, bought a van, and I haven't lived at home since then.
Really?
Yeah.
We haven't done an overnight passage since when we come into New Zealand from Tonga. I'm not too upset about going back to the barrier for maybe 4 or 5 days. We have a big storm coming in, so we want to be hidden for that.
Did Colin scare you?
A little bit, yeah. I do have to say, it's like a bit intimidating going into it. Like, you don't really know, the weather could change, or, something.
Full mercy.
Yeah, something could just happen out of the blue.
And speaking of things happening out of the blue, as we headed offshore in the middle of the night, Britt was all alone on watch minding her own business, when all of a sudden,
I was sitting here on my night watch and just admiring the sounds of the waves and the stars and just how peaceful and calm it is. And then out of nowhere is a big thud right behind my head. Just behind me there was a bird. And it must have got scared and it hopped away. And as it was hopping away, I could see its wing was broken. And so he hopped down the solar panels and slid right off the panels and into the water. So I honestly can still just not believe that. I'm kind of in shock. I was just like, it scared the crap out of me, and I feel really bad for that bird.
How are your guys' first watches?
Yeah, cruisy, really nice. Me and Colin watched the sunrise this morning, and we saw a pod of whales coming towards the boat, and it was real cool.
Beside that bird incident, which scared the crap out of me. But yeah, it was a good first kind of night back on it. Yeah. Really calm and chill.
The conditions were kind of perfect, so I enjoyed it.
I didn't sleep much last night.
so we made it safely to Smokehouse Bay, where the boys had a quick fish.
It looks like a goldfish.
Ah!
Hey! Got dinner, baby!
But I wanted to crack on with the work on the bows, because we knew some heavy weather was on its way. If you've only just joined us, the deck on our starboard bow ripped clean off the hulls right before we had major sail drive issues, so we had put it on the back burner for now. But we couldn't avoid the fiberglass work forever.
Hey guys, I'm hiding back here because it's still super windy up on the bow, but the sun's come up. Looks like we can actually get some work done. But we just went to have a look at the port side, and it is literally almost ripped off. I'm not even exaggerating. I reckon we would have flown a spinnaker off that one more time and it would have ripped that whole bow off the exact same way that it did on the starboard side. It's unbelievable.
my God. I did a post on the Lagoon owners group on Facebook just saying this is what happened to us. I don't want this to happen to any of you guys. And there was the usual couple of people that are like, oh, it's just hurricane damage, da 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 da. I just can't even be bothered with those people. This is pretty, it's a pretty poor connection between the deck and the hull. You cannot argue with that. And we've put 25,000 miles on this boat with a lot of time being on under spinnaker off these bows. So I think we just put a lot more hours on those bows compared to these keyboard warriors cruising around the BVIs for 500 miles a year. Isn't it sad that you put a post on Facebook and you try to make other people aware of these things so they don't go through what we're going through right now? And then these trolls come out and say I shouldn't be flying a spinnaker off there. It's a pretty weak argument. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to help other people, but it makes me not want to do it, which is kind of sad. But we're gonna fix it. So we're gonna peel that bow up as much as we can. The silicon's doing nothing, that glue or whatever it is, and get all of that out and then epoxy that back down. And that alone will be stronger than that silicone or adhesive that they've used. We'll put the screws back in them, but instead of just using screws, you can see the tip of the screws just straight down into the forepeak. We'll put washers and nuts on those, so they'll be through bolted. But that's going to be after we fiberglass underneath with epoxy. You know how we roll. We're going to make sure this is stronger than it was coming out of the factory. The first step is to glue this thing down.
So with the halyard holding the deck up, we were able to remove all of the old seeker flicks for the new epoxy. We also sanded the entire mating surface so that the epoxy would form a stronger mechanical bond between the hull and the deck joint. We made a thick glue by adding Cabosil to our 2-part epoxy from Total Boat. We then squeezed a generous amount in there before weighing the deck down with weights and batteries. We wiped off the excess and left it overnight to cure, and by morning it was rock hard, but also the bad weather that we were hiding from had started to arrive.
We're at the back of the pack here, so I hope none of these guys drag. It's one of the boats in the anchorage is dragging. This is that 20 to 30 knot system that we're kind of hiding from. It's absolutely howling through here. We're bouncing around everywhere. But yeah, they've dragged a fair way. Boats we got to look out for are the ones in front of us. Hopefully they all hold. We've got the Ultra anchor and the stainless steel chain. I don't think we're going anywhere. I put a 250 feet of chain out and 50 feet of water. So we've literally never dragged. Hopefully he gets a bite soon. He's on deck, so we're not panicking just yet. But yeah, we're just sort of waiting it out. But I want to take a moment to talk about a lady called Vicky Moore. So she runs the rally around New Zealand, and it's not like any other rally that I've heard of. You don't have to do it in a group, you do it at your own pace. But she sends everyone this care package. It's 500 New Zealand dollars, which is probably 350 US. And you jump on a WhatsApp group, so we're all sort of talking to each other and talking about safe places to go and hide and where's good, where's bad. And she sends this through, but there's a lure in there. You should try that. A little collapsible funnel. This isn't a paid promotion or anything, I just think it's really good. And then they give you this book here that it looks like they've made about all the different harbours and stuff, and just basically the pilot book of South Island. Oh, and they even give you some charts and stuff. Open cell wetsuit lubricant. There we go, we could use it on the old 7th wave. And I think there's about 10 to 12 boats on it this year. I highly recommend reaching out to Vicky Moore at Island Cruising New Zealand. Feel like you've got a little bit of a community, you're not just doing this on your own.
That was sick! Yeah, he opened his mouth right at the top and then slashed his tail down. Oh, that was crazy.
That was a big bronzy.
Yeah, that was the bronzy.
2.5 meters long for sure. It was big, boy.
34, 35.
35, 36. Just saw 36 knots. We've only just had it on for 2 minutes. It's pretty crappy here. Haven't had sun all day, so we're running the engine as well to get some power. The swell is wrapping in through Man o' War Channel and coming right around and hitting us side on now, so the boat's just doing roly-polies. Nowhere else we can go, just gotta sit this out. Hopefully it starts to die overnight.
The next day we awoke to a beautiful sunny day, so a couple of the crew woke up early for a stroll.
There's no place I'd rather be than Great Barrier Island, eh?
But you guessed it, good weather to me meant it was time to work. Don't forget to subscribe and join us next week as we climb down into the forepeak to not only reinforce the deck, but we make a shocking discovery of wet balsa core.
And it's absorbed like a sponge.
Right along the inside of the bow.
It's travelled down this freaking foam that they've used. It's not closed cell or anything, and it's just crept straight into it.
This is not the side of the boat that sank, before anyone says that shit.